All right, testing, testing. All right, testing, testing. All right, Shalom Israel. Shalom Bashim Yashab Brakatham to the brothers. Shalom Yahweh Shema Alatah Bashim Yahshai to the sisters. We at the Isupk Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Hall, New York, under Commander General Yohana. And we are not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite group. We teach that all so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are God's chosen people. We are the true biblical Israelites that the Bible speaks of. And Esau, or as you know, is the devil that the Bible speaks of, right? So now today, of course, the Sabbath service. The water for everybody who's been continuously tuning in. We're going to be going over the book Exodus chapter 39, verse 9 to the book of Exodus chapter 40, verse 14. We're almost done with Exodus, y'all. We're almost done. By next week, we should be going into Leviticus. Yep, Leviticus should be about next week. So with that being said, just a quick reminder, if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. Sisters, remember to have your heads covered when attending class and participating in the prayers. Brothers, remember to have your heads uncovered. Okay. Now, with that being said, so real quick in my coffee. With that being said, Amidium, which means to rise or stand, just me up here. Layashala, which means to or for Israel. All right, Amidium Aponyahakodam, which means to rise or stand and face the east. We're going to begin with the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. This is the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Ayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakavka, Taba'ah, Zaka, Ayah, Aisha, Baratza, Kawa, Ayah, Bashamayim, Thalanawa, Makam, Call, Yawam, Wasalaknawa, Kabawatnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabwathinawa, Wala'ah, Kabayanawa, Mansaiwan, Abal, Abshainawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Makab, Amalakwa, Wa'ala, Watapara, Wa'alamin, Amun. Now the English, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Amen. Akak, which is the power of the Hebrew, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Babakashah, Nathomanawa, Akak, Akak, Barapa'ah, Kal Makalah, Kal Manawa, Akak, Atahar, Hamad Zariam, Akak, La'akwayam, Amathiam, Akak, Arakawa, Tama'ala, Rashon, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, for water, Aman. Now in the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahushai. Thank you. So be it. All right, this is bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Barak Banawa, Wayasha'ala, Waha, Bayatsaparim, Barak, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, the water, Amun. We just said was, Lord, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless us and Israel and the school, in the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you, so be it. This is Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayanya, Or, Mahoyim, Mayan, Yaba'ah, Azoya, Ma'ain, Yahweh, Asha, Shemayim, Waradza, Wayadan, Mawat, Wagolka, Oyanwam, Shemarka, Hana, La'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yeshun, Shalomar, Sha'ala, Yahweh, Shemarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Alyad, Yanka, Yomam, Shamash, La'a, Yakaka, Wayarat, Layala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makal, Rai, Yashamar, Atmapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Tazafka, Wa'afka, Maita, Wa'ai, Awulam. Now in the English, I will lift my eyes into the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall not slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in. So like you, from this time forth and even forevermore. All right, this is Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, all Gami Alaka, all Takarash, all Tashakwat, all Kayahana, Awayabika, Yahama, Yawan, Ra'ash, Al Imaka, Yaryamwa, Sabda, Laita, Yaikazwa, Al Kazaponika, Amarwa, Akawa, Rakakium, Magoya, Mala'a, Yazakar, Shamesha'ala, Abda, Kaya, Nawat Hazwa, Naba, Yakadwa, Alika, Yasha'ala, Abda, Kaya, Nawat Hazwa, Naba, Yakadwa, Alika, Waryath, Yakarathwa, Ahoya, Adawam, Wa, Yashamai, Alayum, Abba, Wahagarium, Gabal, Wam1, Wamalak, Falshath, Abishabia, Kazawar, Gamashabor, Alawa, Imam, Ayawa, Zorawai, Labani Lawat, Salah, Aisha, Laham, Kamadyam, Kasaya, Sabra'a, Kayabian, Manakal, Kayashwan, Shamarwa, Bayan, Dara, Ayawa, Daman, Badama, Shaitamwa, Nada, Yamawa, Kairab, Kazaba, Kazaba, Kazalbanai, called Nasiakamwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Narasha, Nanawa, Nawa, Alahayim, Alhayat, Shaitamwa, Logla, Kwash, Lapanya, Rauka'a, Ka'ash, Tabaira, Yaira, Wa Kalahaba, Talahat, Hariyam, Kun, Taradama, Sairaka, Palosa, Wapaka, Baalam, Mala'a, Paniham, Kwalawan, Waya, Bakwashwa, Shinka, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Waya Bahawa, Ayai, Waya Kaparwa, Waya Abadwa, Waya Dayawa, Kayata, Shinka, Yahawa, Labaka, Ilawan, Alcohol, Ha'aratiza. Now this is Psalms 83 in the English. Hear not thy silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make atonement, and they that hate thee have lifted the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, let us cut them off, and be in a nation. In the name of Israel, make no more remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom, the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Also, it's like Ashur also was joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Salah. Do unto them as to the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the river of Son, which perished at Endor. It became as dung for the earth, made their nobles like a red, like Zaid, yea, all the princes of Zabah, and as Amuna, who said, Let's take to ourselves the houses of God in possession. Oh my God, make them like a wheel, as a stubble for the wind, as fire burns the wood, as the flames set the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, like make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, and let me seek thy name. O Lord, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the Most High over all earth. Shalom on Christ, I one. All right, this is the blessings in the Hebrew. Barak Yahweh, Wayah Shai, Wamiaka Allah, Wa Alhayim, Mazabi Ah, Alwapia Hana, Alwapiam, Hasaranyam, Hakadazayoyim, Hakayayoyim, Wahawafian, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, the water of mud. Now the blessings in the English. Bless Yahweh and Yahushai and Michael and the angels, Commander General Hana, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters, Yahweh in the name of Yahushai. Thank you, so be it. All right, you may be seated. All right, so I'm gonna be going over the book of Exodus, chapter 39. For those who, Salakia, it's my fault. All right, so we starting book of Exodus, chapter 39, verse 9. We do the 7 verses in the Hebrew, then we do the 7 verses in the English, and then continue, as you already know, 49 verses in the Hebrew and 49 in the English. So we're going to do 39, 9 to 15 for the first 7 verses, right? All right, so this is the book of Exodus, chapter 39, verse 9 in the Hebrew. Daba'ai hayawa baragal aishaya af hakashun zaraf arabaya wazaraf dakabar bagayol Wayamalaya Baya Arabai Ta no Saraya Abun Saira Adam Pa yes Pa Pata Da'a Wa Wabara Ka'af Hasar Hakad Wasa'ar Ashunya Napun Tapayad Waya Lahayim Waya Sa'ar Hashala Yashia Lashum Shabaya Wakala Ma'a Wa Ta'ar Hara Ba'aya Sha'ash Shaham Waya Shapa'a Mata Ba'ath Masha Bata Za'af Zahab Bamala Thum Wabunyam Isle Shamath Banya Yasha'ala Hana Shathayam Aishara Isle Shamathum Patha Yakia Kathum Ayash Isle Shabya Lashanyam Aishar Shaban, last verse. Wa Aishaya Isle Hakashun Shara Sharasha Shara Sharashamath Gabalath Ma'aisha Ibath Zahab Ta Wa'ar. All right. Those are the first 7 verses in the Hebrew. The book of Exodus, chapter 39, verse 9. It was 4 square. They made the breastplate double. A span was the length thereof, and a span the breadth thereof, being doubled. So again, we're going over, this is more so going over garment, just like a recap of what we were going over last week, right? Let's see, it says verse 10, and they set it 4 rows of stones. The first row was a sardius, a topaz, a carbuncle. This was the first row. Second row, an emerald, a sapphire, and a diamond. The third row, a ligure, an agate, and an amethyst. And the fourth row, a beryl, an onyx, and a jasper. These are just different gems and stones that they're decorated with. They were enclosed in ouches of gold in their enclosings. The stones were according to the names of the children of Israel, 12 according to their names, like the engravings of a signet, everyone with their name according to the 12 tribes. So pretty much the way that this is designed, 12 stones, 12 tribes, again, just a representation of who we are as a people. I went over this last week. Right here it says in verse 14, I'll read it one more time. And the stones were according to the names of the children of Israel. 12, according to their names, like the engraving of a signet. Again, I went over it last week. For anybody that missed it, just a quick recap. You'll see the Dawada right here. Dawada is what? I'm asking y'all questions earlier. What does Dawada mean? This should be easy. I heard me say it like 1,000 times. Dawada. What does that mean? David's name. Okay, what does David's name mean? If I may, sir, David's signet. Okay, you jumping ahead just a little bit. You're on the right track though. So what I'm asking is, what does David's name mean? Come on, y'all have heard me say this a lot because I make a lot of references to David. What does David mean in the Hebrew? What does it mean? You got me there, sir. Ah, come on. Don't remember? No sweat, no sweat. This is okay though. This is why we have class. So Dawada, David, right? David in the Hebrew, remember everything has a meaning. David means beloved. Why? Because he was beloved by the Most High, right? So the troopers say, Trooper Batak. So let me make sure I'm saying this. So you said David's signet. So yes, this right here, if in the Paleo Hebrew, the ancient Hebrew, the da is a triangle. I might actually be able to show you. Let me see. Okay, I don't know if this picture is gonna do it justice. Let me see if I can like highlight it just to show you guys. It's right there. And I'm gonna try to enlarge it. Okay. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if anybody can see it. You see that triangle? That's the dot, right? So if you put two triangles together and you just kind of twist it, it makes this shape. It's a hexagram, if you will, right? So the Dawada is literally David's name in the Hebrew, but it's made and you had it a signet. That's all it is, like a signature. That's all it is. So again, going back to what we talked about last week, if anybody can remember, this is not worshiping a graven image. Yes, we talk about a lot of different kings, King Solomon, King David, not the greatest one, but King Saul. We make a lot of references to these brothers, right? Thing is though, we don't worship them, right? Just because you see me wear this does not mean that I worship King David. We don't worship idols, right? We worship the Most High, and we don't worship any other gods because, paraphrasing, the Most High is a jealous God. He said that you will worship no other gods before me. However, this is okay. You can wear this. Same thing with your tribe. All right, I made the reference last week. I think the most famous one, of course, Judites symbol is what? The tribe of Judah, represented by a lion. If I wear a lion, do I worship lions? No. Okay. Now, if you're getting on your knees and you got a lion statue and you over here, like doing this and you praising the lion, you might need to seek help. Something is mentally wrong with you. You need to get diagnosed. All right. Same thing. Tribe of Benjamin, a wolf. All right. Do I worship wolves? No, I don't worship wolves. It's just representing my tribe. That's all it is. Right. So just so everybody has a understanding, right? So when it says the engravings of a signet, this is something of what it's talking about because those 12 stones represent what? The 12 tribes. Okay, see, there you go. Yes, sister said that's beautiful that when we wear the shield, that we are literally having beloved written on us in a sense. Yes, that's literally what it is. I literally, when you wear your dawada, beloved. That's it, right? But of course, you got people in the world, it really is just a lack of education and also false information that's been put out there. Y'all heard me say it before. They refer to the sigil of Baphomet or the Star of Satan, which was made to mock this, right? And it's a pentagram. You'd be surprised how many people can't count. I've tried to explain this to some people in the world, and they're like, no, it's the same thing. I'm like, this has 5 points. The other one has 6. Technically, those are 2 different shapes. One's a penta, 5 gram. The other one is a hexa, 6 gram. No, it's the same thing. No sweat. But y'all get the gist of it, though, right? So we'll just continue. We'll finish up real quick. Oh, yeah, the 12 stones, 12 tribes, right? That's all it is. All right, so we're going to go jump to verse 15, last verse. And they made upon the breastplate chains at the end of wreathen work of pure gold. Again, you look like royalty. Gold, we're no stranger to that. This is just representing, in a sense, the garment, again, showing our heritage, taking pride in who we are as a people. In a sense, also showing respect to the Most High. We God's chosen people, right? Well, we need to carry ourselves as such. So this is more of like, think of it like this. You put it on and it's like, you got to remember, you're God's chosen people. All right. The Lord chose us to be his people. We got to honor that. All right. It's like a uniform in a sense, right? This might not be the best analogy, but you see in the world, like you see like Esau's military, when I was there at one point. So when we wear the uniform, they tell you, wear it with pride. You're representing something, right? It's not just you anymore. You're kind of like an ambassador. It's kind of what you are. You're an ambassador. Shalom on Christ. I got Trooper Shalai in here. What's going on? But you're an ambassador. So what you should look at it is you. And this is sisters too, by the way. When you walk around, you are a representative of the Most High. You are supposed to carry yourself the way the Most High wants you to. You're an ambassador, right? Same thing for sisters. Your husband is your head, right? So when you walk around, you're just not representing yourself, you're representing him. You're his ambassador. All right. So, just so everybody has like a little bit of an understanding of it, right? I got a couple more people in here. Shalom on Christ. So with that, I hope everybody understands. We're going to continue. Now we're going to go over, give me one second, Exodus 16. Give me one second. 16 to 22. All right, in the Hebrew. This book of Exodus, chapter 6, chapter 39, verse 16 in the Hebrew. Wa'ashaya, Shatya. What was that? Oh. Slaki. Masha Batazaf, Zahab, Washathya, Taba'ith, Zahab, Wayathanya, Ath, Shathya, Hataba'ith, Il, Shemya, Quatazaf, Hakashun, let's see, Wayathanya, Shathya, Ai Bathaf, Hazahab, Il, Shathya, see, Hata'ith, Il, Quatazaf, Hakashun, Wa'ath, Shathya, Quatazaf, Shathya, Ha'ai Bathaf, Nathath, Naya, Il, Shathya, Hamasha Batazaf, Wayathanum, Il, let me see, Bathapath, Hapad, Hapad, all, Ma'al, Panyam, Aishya, Shathya, Taba'ith, Zahab, Wayasha Maya, Il, Shunya, Patazaf, Hakashun, Il, Shapathya, Ashar, all, Ibad, let's see. Let's see. Hapad ba Bayathia. Waya. Let's see. Give me a second. Wai. Waya Aisha. Shatya. Taba Aith. Zahab. Waya Thanum. Ail. Shatya. Ba Pa'ath. Hapad. Malasa'a. So like it. Ma Ya'al. Panya'um. La'ai Maf. Ma Ka Ba Baya. No, it's like it. Barathia. Mama Ail. Lakashab. Hapad. Waya Ra Ba'ad. Af. Hakashon. Ma Taba'ithia. Ail. I was like, all. Taba'ith. Hapad. Bapa Thaya'al. Tha Bala'ath. Lahayath. Ail. Kashab. Hapad. Ila'ah. Yazak. Hakashon. Ma'il. Hapad. Mashar. Like a Bashar. Tazayah. Yahweh Ath. Masha'ah. Last verse. Wayaish Ath. Ma'il. Hapad. Ma'aisha. Arad. Let's see. Balia'al. Tha Balath. All right, so that's it for that. So this book, the book of Exodus, chapter 39, verse 60. Let's see. Let's see. And they made upon the breastplates. Oh, it's like 60. And they made 2 ouches of gold and 2 gold rings, and put the 2 rings in the ends of the breastplate. And they put the 2 wreathing chains of gold in the 2 rings of the ends of the breastplate. Again, just describing the design. Verse 18, the 2 ends of the 2 wreathen chains they fastened in the 2 ouches and put them on the shoulder pieces of the ephod before it. Verse 19, and they made 2 rings of gold and put them on the 2 ends of the breastplate upon the border of it, which was on the side of the ephod inward. Verse 20, and they made 2 other golden rings and put them on the 2 sides of the ephod underneath toward the fore part of it, over against the other coupling thereof, above the curious girdle of the ephod. Verse 21, and they did bind the breastplate by his rings, and put the rings of the ephod with a lace of blue, that it might be above the curious girdle of the ephod, and the breastplate might and that the breastplate might not be loosed by the ephod. So let me see, I still got it. Okay, so real quick, for brothers who have been in school long enough, when we have our fringes, right, you'll usually see like a blue seam, I guess you should say, like along the lining of it. So that blue, we usually have it. It's worn. It can also be worn under the ephod. It usually symbolize like righteousness. That's just kind of like what it's a part of our custom, right? So again, like you just see like the examples right here. If anybody was wondering like why we do that, right? Just custom, right? Let's go okay, let's finish up verse 21. Might not be loosed by the ephod, as the Lord commanded Moses. And he made the robe of the ephod of woven work, all of blue. See that color again. And there was, got ahead of myself. So let's see. Pretty much what you can get from this is like, again, doing everything that the Most High is telling us to do. Went over this plenty of times. It's all about order and structure, right? The ministry was pretty much done, with detail and exactness, and any work that is done for the Most High should be done in excellence. You never want to half-ass yourself, right? This kind of goes back into we talk a lot about this during our high holy days, like for example, the Feast of First Fruits, right? The spirit behind that, the Feast of First Fruits, you want to give your best, right? going back towards, I'm asking y'all another question. Y'all should know this, right? This goes back to Genesis. Um, Talking about Cain and Abel, right? Cain and Abel. All right, so you don't gotta necessarily give me a precept. I want somebody to tell me, okay, I don't want to be too long-winded with it. Okay, I'll put it like this. Cain was punished for something. Okay, remember, Cain was Abel's brother. Somebody tell me, what was Cain punished for? If anybody remembers. If you got to go to it, you can go ahead and get a precept, whatever you got to get. But somebody in the chat tell me, what was Cain punished for? Hmm. Giving. Okay, so yeah, you got part of it. Okay, yeah, he didn't give a good offering, right? What else was okay? He was punished for not giving the best sacrifice. Okay, y'all on it. Y'all on. You know what? I'll take it. You're absolutely right. Right. Abel, he gave his best. Like he was getting like he was giving offerings to the Lord. Like I'm just thinking something today. Like he gave the Lord brisket. You feel me? Like he gave him smoked brisket. Like was over there like barbecue. Like he's getting the best, right? And he put it for the Lord. Like, hey, you know what? I made this for you. And then you got Cain, and he just like he picked some lettuce like from the bag. Not even a good one. He got some lettuce from the bag that ain't been washed, nothing. He just kind of gave that like, oh, here you go. He didn't give his best. Now what happened, right? What did Cain do? The Lord got mad at him, right? What did Cain do when he saw that the Lord was accepting of Abel's offering? Does anybody remember? Anybody know what did he do? Abel's offering was accepted, Cain's wasn't. He got jealous, absolutely. And when he got jealous, what did he do to his brother? Mm-hmm. Yep. He got rid of his brother, which is crazy. It's crazy work. It's your brother. Like you're hating. Like Cain was one of the first haters. Think about that, right? Now the whole premises of that, he became jealous and yep. Yeah, he got rid of his brother. Why? Because he was jealous. He didn't give his best. Somebody else did. He hated that he did that. And instead of just fixing himself and saying, you know what, maybe I should do better. He said, man, F this dude. I don't like that he's getting glory and I'm not. I'm going to get rid of him. And then, just for time's sake, the Most High knows all. And he saw what happened. He saw what happened. And he cursed Cain, right? Now, the whole reason I'm bringing up Cain and Abel is, again, we're reading this. Remember, you can always take something from the Bible, right? You're reading all this glorious craftsman work that the brothers are making for this, breastplate, ephod, the 12 stones, and they wasn't getting they wasn't getting no rocks. Like they was getting emeralds, sapphires, diamonds, fresh, They put their best work, they put their best foot forward. Why? Because that's what the Most High deserves. You get it? Like he deserves that. He deserves for us to put our best foot forward and do the absolute best that we can for him because look what he has done and has continuously done for us. When he didn't, let's see, he didn't correct himself, he became hateful. Yep. Became jealous. Yeah. Yep. So that's what you can take from this. We're reading these instructions, but again, it wasn't like there was like they wanted to make a glorious garment. It wasn't like they just like saw some cloth, cut it up real quick, and then just like slapped it on Aaron and his sons. Like, no. They said this is going to be a glorious looking priest because this priest serves the Lord. This tabernacle that we're building up, it's not like they just found a cave and then like lit a fire and was like, okay, yeah, this is tabernacle. No, no, they decked everything out, right? Because they have pride in who we are, And that's how we should carry ourselves. So that's what you can take away from that, right? Let's see. All right, so we'll continue. All right, so we just finished up with 22. So we're going to go 39, 23 to 29, right, in the Hebrew. Let's see where we at. 23. Exodus chapter 39, verse 23. Apaya Hama'il Batha Yabai Ba Bapaya. Yeah, Bapaya. Thakara'a Shapa'a Lapaya Tabayab La'a Wakwa Ra'ai Waya Aishaya Il Shaya Laya Hama Il Rama Ya'an see Ramanya Thabalath Wara Gamun Watha Ya La'ai Shanya Mashazor Waya Aishaya Pa'ai Manya Zahab Zahar Waya Thanya Oth Hapa'ai Manyam let's see Bathayan Haramanyam Il Shayala'a Hama'il Sabayab Bathayan Haramanyam Pa'ai Ma'az Warama'an Pa'ai Ma'an Warama'an Il Shalaya Hama'il let's see Hama'il Ba'ab Lasharath Masha'ar Basha'ar Tazayah Yahweh Ath Masha'ah Waya Aishaya Ath Hama Thanya Shashash Ma'aisha Arag Laha Ra'an Walabanya Wa'ath Hamatazan Pa'ath Shashash Wa'ath Para'ah Hamaga Ba'aith Shashash Wayath Ma Banyam. Okay, Banyam. Okay. Habad Shashash Mashazar, last verse. Wa'ath Shabanyam Shashash Mashazar Watha La'ath Waya Ragamun Watha La'aith Shanya Maisha'ah Raquam Basha'ar Tazayah Yahweh Ath Masha'ah. All right. So we're gonna go look at Exodus chapter 23 to verse 29. And there was a hole in the midst of the road, and as the hole of a habergun, Slakia, give y'all the definition of that, so everybody knows what that is. Let's see. It's a habergun. Okay. Okay, so it's a course select. Okay, so just so everybody knows. So let's say it says, and there was a hole in the midst of the road, and as the hole of an habergun with a band round about the hole, that it should not rent. Verse 24, and they made upon the hems of the robe pomegranates of blue and a purple and scarlet and twined linen. We've heard that before. Again, just styling it a certain way, making it look glorious. Verse 25, and they made bells of pure gold and put the bells between the pomegranates upon the hem of the robe, round about between the pomegranates. Verse 26, a bell and a pomegranate, round about the hem of the robe to minister it, as the Lord commanded Moses. And they made coats of fine linen of woven work for Aaron. Again, this is all made for Aaron. So y'all can just imagine. I mean, the brother looked fly. I'm gonna just say how it is, right? The brother looked fly. And let's see, they made coats of fine linen and woven work for Aaron and for his sons, so his sons as well, in a mitre of fine linen, and goodly bonnets of fine linen, and linen breeches of fine twined linen. Verse 29, and a girdle of fine twined linen, and blue and purple and scarlet of needleworks, as the Lord commanded Moses. All right, so let's see. And again, you can see just again, like the cultural aspect, like why we do certain things, reading about the mitre. Real quick, also want to point out, it's at bonnets. Now, sisters, you already know what a bonnet is. Again, it's just little things like that. These ain't white people, y'all. So like I would just come out and say it. These aren't white people. We're reading about like things we wore, and you think about what we wear today. Now, why would we wear something like that to protect our hair? We know how our hair is, right? Ain't no white people wearing it. All right. So them fake Jewish cats, the Israelis, all right, they don't need that stuff. Their hair goes straight down, all right, for a reason. Why? Again, get into the genetics of it. When you look at Esau, or I'm not even just gonna say the Europeans, I'm just gonna call them Edomites, right? Let me give y'all a little background on this. So we know, obviously, like a lot of Edomites dwell in Europe, right? Why? Europe, when you look at it from a geographical sense, it makes sense for Esau to dwell there because there's not really like a lot of sunlight. It's a little chillier. So hence, you don't really need a darker pigmentation to your skin. It's called melanin. That's what makes your skin darker. They lack melanin. Why? Because they didn't need it. Think about where they're at. They ain't really a lot of sun. They're not catching all them UV rays like that. So what they need that for? So they just store it's vitamin D. We get vitamin D from sunlight. We need that. They don't necessarily need that because they store it within themselves. Also, their hair grows lower, straight down. Why? When your hair grows down, it helps entrap heat. Why? It's colder there, so they need to entrap heat. Our hair doesn't grow like that. Our hair grows how? It grows up. Why? Because we're meant for, you see, when I saw the word bonnet, I knew it. You see what I mean? Like just little small details like that, right? If I may, let's see, our people's hair are the only ones whose hair grows towards the sun. Yeah, ours grows up. You want to know why though? It's a cooling effect. It's hot. We come from a tropical climate, right? Hair gotta go up. Now, if our hair grew down, we gonna get hot. So guess what? Our body is naturally cooling itself off. So again, when you think of those the Ashkenazi Semitic Jews and stuff like that, so Sephardic Jews, white people, right? Let's just say what they are, like Esau cosplaying as God's chosen people. They're dwelling in what you know as today Israel. Israel was once actually connected to Africa. Remember, like, don't think of Africa like when I say Africa, don't think Hamite. Like Africa is just a large continent with many different countries in it, right? I think it's like 53 or something like that. It's ridiculous. My point being is hot. Egypt, Israel, right by Egypt. You go, they call it the Horn of Africa. So you go east and up. This northern East Africa is Egypt. When you go up top, what's right there? It's Israel. Now, technically, they say that Israel is no longer a part of Africa because I forgot what it was, but it was a man-made river, pretty much, right? They cut it off, so now it's no longer a part of the territory. It's actually technically on the continent of Asia. So, I mean, do with that what you will. My whole point of bringing this up is it's a hot climate. Put a bunch of black people in Antarctica or something like that. We're not going to do well. We don't belong there. You get what I mean? We're meant for heat. We get vitamin D deficient. That's actually very common amongst our people when we dwell in areas where there's not a lot of sunlight, right? If you don't believe me, get evaluated by your doctor. I guarantee you probably vitamin D deficient. Unless you live out here, this is hot. So, but my point is, meant for a hot climate. Our northern tribe brothers and sisters. Now, again, think back in the day before the Spaniards and the French and the Portuguese came over and did what they did. Because now people are quote unquote mixed. You really are who your father is, but I'm just leveling with you here, right? When you look at anybody, including our northern tribe brothers and sisters, closer to the equator or a hotter climate, right? Remember, came from Israel, right? You go to like South America, Central America, the original natives, if you will. I'm not just talking about Gad. I'm talking about Ephraim. I'm talking about Issachar. I'm talking about Naphtali. I'm talking about everybody, right? A darker skin complexion. Why though? It's hot. That's where you dwell. Even our Gadite brothers and sisters who immigrated more towards like northern America, seasons, right? Their hair might be long. Their hair is not like Esau's hair though. Esau's hair is usually like thin. A Native American's hair, when they grow down, it might grow straight down, but it's real thick. Why? You got to dwell amongst the seasons. You can't be. How do I say this? You can't be too. I'm trying to figure out what it is. You can't be too dark, but you can't be too light. You got to be able to adapt to the environment, if that makes sense. So Esau, of course, he's going to dwell in this land because genetically that's where he thrives at, a colder climate. Russia, it's cold as hell over there. Who primarily lives over there? White people. Eastern Europe, Western Europe, Europe in general. Guess who lives over there? White people. Also, I'm gonna call them what they really are. Yeah, gotta be right in the middle, right? So I'm gonna call them what they really are. I'll say Caucasian. Now, don't think just European when you think Caucasian. Hey, Shalom, more in Christ, Most High in Christ. Good to see you. We got Officer Kardashian in the building. Good seeing you. Good seeing you well. But my point being is, okay, so Caucasians. When you think Caucasian, don't just think Europe. Give an example. The Kardashians. They are Edomites. I forgot where exactly they're. Ooh, give me a second. Give me a second. I want to make sure I get this right. It's a certain place. It's like the Caucasian region. Oh man, I forgot. Armenian. Thank you. That's what it is. Armenian. Armenians are Edomites. You know what I'm saying? It's like closer. It's like Armenia, Georgia. Don't think like Georgia here. It's called Georgia. It's a few other ones. Give me a second, y'all, because I want to make sure I get this right. Okay, so right now I'll read you like the definition of like a Caucasian. So when we think Caucasian here, we just think Europe. So a Caucasian is a term historically used to describe people of European, which is the one that we're most familiar with, Middle Eastern, Middle Eastern, and North African descent. Now, again, don't think North African like Hamite. A lot of people who live in North Africa now are actually Grecian. They migrated over there, right? So I'm trying to get the name. I want to give y'all like a list of different countries. It's the Caucasus region. Yeah, spanning over Eastern Europe and Western Asia. It's like between the Black Sea and Caspian Sea. Here we go. Okay, so Southern Russia, Georgia, Armenia, and I might butcher this word, y'all. Azerbaijan. But if you look it up, that region is a little bit more. Oh yeah, of course. Then you have like Canada, Germany, Italy, uh, Albania. There's a few of them, and of Portugal, Ireland, stuff like that. But that region, that's the Caucasus region. Those are where the Caucasus Mountains are, right? And that's where Esau settled. So again, going back to the whole bonnet, so I got a little long-winded. The bonnet thing, they don't need that stuff. Genetically, they don't need it. Their hair has to grow down because they have to entrap heat where they're at because it's colder and there's less sunlight. We wear something like that. People who have like more like 4C or like thicker hair, right? Our hair, we like some of us we think we don't have long hair. Like, no, we do have long hair. It's just it coils. That's all it is. All right. And our hair needs a little bit more moisture and stuff like that. That's we wear as a protective, protective hairstyle, protective for our hair slot. So just so everybody understands that. So again, something as small as that, a bonnet. I'm glad like one of the sisters she caught it. We ain't talking about white people, y'all. like show me Sephardic Jews or Ashkenazi Jews that wear bonnets. Wear no bonnets. They don't do that. They wasn't in slavery in ancient Egypt. You mean to tell me they was in the heat of Egypt in Africa, right? And I mean to tell me they was out there slaving? They will burn to a crisp. They wouldn't survive out there. They was out there building them pyramids and serving the Egyptian Hamites. No, they physically could not do. They would die off. It's too hot. You know what I'm saying? They couldn't thrive in that environment. But guess who could thrive in that environment? God's chosen people. Why? Because we are darker. We can dwell in the sun, be fine. They can't. They're more prone to skin cancer. I'm just saying. Don't believe me? Google it, or y'all can use I don't know Chat GBT or whatever. Y'all can look it up, right? Just so everybody has an understanding. What we got? So we did scarlet needlework. Okay, so I'm gonna continue, right? We're gonna go. We just finished up what 29. Okay, so 39, verse 30 to 36 in the Hebrew. All right. So this is the book Exodus chapter 39, verse 30. Where Aishya ath taza'an na nazar hakorash zahab ta ra'ar waya bath baya alya ma ba ba'ab patha yakya kaya thum kodash la Yahweh waya thanya alya pathayo thaba la'ath Lathath Io Hamatazun Pa'ath Mala Ma'alia Kashar Tazaya Yahweh Ath Masha'ah Baal I Badath Masha Ba'an Ahol Maya Aid Waya Aishaya Banya Waya Sha'ala Babar Shar Tazaya I'm sorry, Tazaya, Yahweh, Ath, Masha'ah, Ka'az, or Ka'an, Salaki, or Bun. Yeah, Masha'ah, Bun, Aishia, Waya, Ayawa, Athya, Hama, Shabaya, or Masha'ah, Ath, Mahal, where Wa'ath, Ba'alia, Para'an, Parashanya, Barakaya, Karakaya, where I Madya, Wa Wadunya, Wa'ath, Maba'an, Ira'ath, Ha'alayum, Hamadamayum, Wayath, Mamasa'a, Irath, Hatha Kashayath, Wa'ath, Bara Wa'ath, Hamasa'an, Ath, Harun, let's see, Ha'aida'ath, Wa'ath, Badaya, Wa'ath, Haba Ra'an, Ath, Hasha La'ath, Ath, Ka'al, Kala'ah, yeah, Kalaya, Wa'ath, Lakam, Hapunyam. All right. All right. Let's see. We got let's see. All right, so book Exodus chapter 39, verse 30. And they made the plate of the holy crown of pure gold and wrote upon it in writing, like it to the engravings of a signet. Again, we went over that last time. So again, that's not a graven image. It's not the same thing. Matter of fact, you know what? I keep explaining it. Somebody tell me what a graven image is. I know I've explained. I want to make sure like y'all understand what I'm talking about. So this is talking about an engraving of a signet. But what is a graven image? What is that talking about when the Lord says, "Don't worship a graven image"? What is that? Anybody know? Give me an example. Give me a precept. Whatever you got. Okay, an idol. Okay, okay. Okay, so in a sense, yeah, okay, I'll take that. That's right. An idol. Okay. So let's go over it real quick. So this is Exodus 20 and 4. And it says, "Thou shalt not make any unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above." Now I'm stop right there. Yeah, like the golden calf they made. Exactly. Carved image to worship. Exactly, right? Now we can break it down. Or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above. This is where a lot of Christians get confused when they see going back to the Dawadah. They associate this with a star. They say it's similar to the star of Satan, or they also say it's the star of Molech. Now, when they think star, they think sky. Again, a star is a ball of gas. This is not elementary school, okay? So we're already wrong there. What it says, when it says, "Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above," it's not telling you you can't have a cloud on your shirt. That's not what that's talking about. That's heaven above, right? Like that's the sky. That's what they think. They think it in a literal sense. It's not what that's talking about. What this might be talking about is, let's say I got a shirt, and let's say I take the Most High's name, right? And I slap it on my shirt. That's not good. Why? For time's sake, I'll give it to you. Let's say my shirt gets dirty. Let's say the shirt get old. I start working out in the shirt. You got sweat on it and stuff. I go play ball or something. Like my shirt rip or something. Like you know what I'm saying? Now, what can happen is the Most High's name. You might not even realize. You might be like, "Oh no, my shirt, my shirt." Why are you doing that though? Because you got the Most High's name on there. Now it's like, oh, I done besmirched the name of the Most High. That's what that means when it says, "Don't take." Like y'all heard that saying before with Christians, like, "Don't take my Savior's name in vain" or something like that. That's what that's talking about. Like you don't want to just slap that on there. Like that's you don't want that. It's kind of like disrespectful, right? Also, what can happen is you might start worshiping the shirt because the Most High's name is on there, or you plastering the Most High's name on like a statue or something. You might start worshiping the statue. Right? Trooper Shalat said it. He said carved image to worship, like the I think it might be East Indians. Who is it? I forgot who they are, but it's some people that be worshiping that rock or whatever. Like they really worship like a rock, and they praise that as their god. That rock ain't did nothing for them but give them shade. That's all it done. But they worship that rock though, or like the sister said, like the golden calf they made. That's what that's talking about, right? You're worshiping something that's not of the Most High. We'll finish it up, right? Or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water underneath the earth. Can I have a fish on my shirt? Yes. Yes. You can wear a shirt like that movie Jaws and it has like the shark on there. That's fine. But can you start worshiping sharks? No. Going back to what we talked about earlier. Worshiping is an action, right? Same thing we went over last time. That swoosh that you have on like Nikes, that's Greek. That's like the Greek goddess of victory, whose name was Nike. Can you wear Nikes? For time's sake, I'll give it to you because I answered it last week. Yes, you can wear Nikes, y'all. I got some right over there. Y'all just can't see them. However, Can I start participating in Grecian worship? Can I worship the goddess Nike? Can I worship my shoe? Like, matter of fact, where they at? Is it over there right now? Yeah, I'm gonna grab it real quick. Give me 1 second. Grab this. Here we go. All right, got a shoe. You see the swoosh? If I wear this, am I in sin? No. But can I worship this? No. And that's literally with anything. You can't worship anything else other than the Most High. You can't worship a lion. You can't worship a goat. People out here worshiping goats. You damn sure ain't worshiping no Grecian goddess that's fake or whatever. Hence why we don't celebrate holidays. Why? For example, who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Easter. Easter, like modern day Easter, or like real Easter is really Passover. That's really, we don't call it Easter though. But modern day Easter is what? It's symbolized by what? A bunny who lays eggs. It sounds like cute, right? Well, here's the problem behind that. First of all, bunnies don't lay eggs. Reptiles lay eggs. If anybody knows that, right? Yes, it's the goddess Ishtar. And okay, who is Ishtar's a goddess? What is she the goddess of? Anybody know? Give it to me. What is Ishtar the goddess of? I said the name. Come on, somebody give it to me. Who is Ishtar the goddess of? Fertility. Yes. Now, let's break it down. Goddess of fertility, think of it more lewd, if that makes sense. That's why they have the bunny, because bunnies, they reproduce very fast. So that's why the bunny's there. The bunny is supposed to symbolize, in a sense, like sex. So the goddess of fertility, again, who we worship, when you celebrate Easter, you're unknowingly celebrating the goddess Ishtar of fertility. That's what you're doing, right? So called among the, yeah. So that's what's happening. Can't do that. That's why we don't celebrate a lot of holidays, because you're worshiping something else. Even birthdays. Birthdays are only mentioned, I think, twice in the Bible, and unironically, um, it's worshipped by a heathen. Also, somebody dies on that birthday. It was like one of his servants. I forgot. I don't know if it was like the person that made the cake or whatever. I'm paraphrasing. It's like I could probably look it up, but my point being is somebody died. But again, was it an Israelite? No, it's not our custom, because now it's like you're worshiping yourself. It's my day, and again, it seems so harmless, right? But no, now it's like you're putting yourself above God. Yeah, you can follow me, right? So going back to verse 30, right? Just so everybody has an understanding of that. And they made the plate of the holy crown of pure gold and wrote upon it in writing like the engravings of a signet, holiness to the Lord, right? This is why we don't do these things. If anybody ever had any questions about it, right? So verse 31, and they tied onto it a lace of blue, there goes that color again, to fasten it on high upon the mitre as the Lord commanded Moses. Thus was all the work of the tabernacle of the tent of the congregation finished, and the children of Israel did according to all that the Lord commanded Moses, so did they. Right? 1 second. Let's see, verse 33. And they brought the tabernacle unto Moses, the tent, and all his furniture, his taches, his boards, his bars, and his pillars and his sockets, and the covering of the ram skin dyed red, and the covering of the badger skin, and the veil of the covering. Verse 35, the ark of the testimony and the staves thereof, and the mercy seat. Verse 36, the tabernacle and all the vessels thereof, and the showbread. Right? So what we again can take from this, um, pretty much there is no faith without works, in a sense. What we're doing is we're moving in faith, and in spirit, but also within details and within action, right? You can't just say you believe in God and you worship the Most High and you don't do anything that He says. It's not fair. It's not fair. Think of it like this: do you love your mom? Do you love your dad? Okay. If you say yes, good. But what are you doing to show that you love them, though? If your mother tells you, as her daughter, don't go out there half naked, and you just don't listen to her and you disrespect her all the time, you call her out her name, you don't love your mom. How can you? You disrespect her all the time. If your father is giving you rules that you need to abide by in the household, right? Something as simple as you shouldn't be doing this anyway, but like, oh yeah, you ain't smoking up in here, or um, as long as you live under my roof, you're gonna abide by my rules. Now, as long as your dad ain't like abusing you or nothing, but like he's just being fair, like he's the father, he's the head of the household, and there's a certain set of rules up in his household, and you just break all of them. You calling your dad out your name, your dad, he's helping you out, and then you just disrespect them. Now I know the trend is now. I don't know if y'all notice. A lot of like the younger generation, it's like cool to not have a dad, which I don't know how that's cool. It's like almost the equivalent of like glorifying a single mother. It's like no, that's actually frowned upon. Like things happen, but we should be trying to work to get out of that. You know, we shouldn't glamorize our trauma in a sense, right? But now it's cool, and it's gotten so cool. It's like actual children out here who have active fathers, but be trying to act like they ain't got a dad to fit in because maybe their friend might not have a dad or whatever, right? Man, that ain't cool. You know what starts happening? Start disrespecting your dad. Now, your daddy whoop your ass. Hey, look. I'm not, or like he kick you up out the crib because you just being rude and disrespectful. Hey, you don't love him. Love got to come with respect. You can't have love without respect, right? Until they become fathers. Until they become fathers who are distracted. Yeah, yeah. You can't have love without respect. All right. And the same thing goes with the most high. It goes really with everything. In any relationship that you have, whether if it's, husband and wife, sister to sister, brother to brother, father and son, mother and daughter, cousins, grandma, grandpa, friends, all right. Us as a people, our relationship with the most high, you can't have love without respect. Because how can you say you love someone when you don't respect them? You get what I'm saying? So when you sin, which is a transgression of the law, what you're doing is you're showing that you don't. Yeah, it's disrespect. Yeah. Oh, okay. I know what you meant. Until they become fathers who are disrespected. Yes, absolutely. You're right. It's all fun and games when you're younger, but then what ends up happening, you know, like okay, I see this like I've all seen this before. It might be I've seen it to where there might be like a sister in the world, right? And she has a mother. Mother loves her. She's trying to teach her from right from wrong, but she's just so disrespectful to her mom, right? And she just gives her mom hell. Then guess what happens? She gets older. She's a mother. She ends up having a daughter, and then her daughter act just like her when she was younger. And then it's kind of like, damn, this is what it feel like, huh? Yeah, that's what happened, right? Or like the brother said, it's cool to disrespect your pops until you a father. Now you on the other side. Now you know what it feels like, to take care of a child, take care of your household, and you like this boy, like you really it vexes you, but now you understand, right? Because now you're on the other seat, right? Same thing. Our relationship with the Most High. When you sin, what you're pretty much saying is you don't respect the Most High because in a sense, like he is our father. We're his children, right? You don't respect him. But then you still want stuff. And that's what be killing me. It's nothing more than like when you do that, I'm gonna call it what it is, nothing more than a spoiled brat. Because that's how we've been acting for Lord knows how long, right? We want the title of God's chosen people. We want all the nice things that the Lord gives us. We want the freedom. We want to be, little flying garments and stuff. We love that stuff, right? But then all the Lord is telling us is, hey, Don't smoke. Hey, don't marry outside of your nation. Keep the commandments. Keep the high holy days. Keep the Sabbath, a day of rest meant for us, by the way. All right? Don't get tattoos. It's not our don't indulge in anything that's not our custom. Be clean. Wash your ass. Like so like that's really what we supposed to do, and a lot of us don't do that. But we still want the grace from the Most High? That don't make no sense. That's selfish. We've been very selfish. Sister said, I told my mom and dad I was sorry a few times since being grown and having a child of my own. I get it. We've all done it. We've all done it. I remember my pops, he told me when I was younger, I didn't want to listen. I was stubborn, to be honest with you. We all done it. He said, when you get older, you're gonna thank me for all the things that I've done for you. And I was never like disrespectful to him, but I'm talking smack in my head. I'm like, man, this dude, he always on me. And then I got older and I'm like, oh, I get it now. Now I'm an adult and I have responsibilities and I got bills and I gotta like now I get it. And I admit it. I told my dad straight up one time, I said, you know what? You used to tell me, I would thank you. I was like, no, you right. You right. Like it's hard out here. I get it. But I'm grateful for the things that he taught me because now I can apply it. So it's like we all go through that phase, but it's like you gotta remember, in a sense, the Lord is our Father. All right. And it's better to correct ourselves now while we're still here, right? Because he don't gotta do this stuff for us, right? What they call it, unconditional love. No, love is conditional. That's one of the biggest lies that's ever been put out. Love is in fact conditional. Think about it. Not even just with the Most High, with anything. Think about it. You might have like family members, right? You love them, like you still have love for them. But if they're like violent and abusive and they disrespect you all the time and they constantly crossing boundaries, like they have no respect for you. They're not showing you that they love you, right? You might still have love for them, but you might separate yourself because the conditions for love have been broken. There is no respect. There is no respect in boundaries. There is no what is it? Being genuine. There is none of that. So how can I continue to be around this person if they're not showing me that love, right? Same thing with the Most High. Even matter of fact, Christ said, let me get it real quick. Let's see, I believe it's in John 15 and 14. I'll read it real quick, right? So this is Christ. He said, ye are my friends if ye do whatsoever I command you. Why? What is the significance of that? The significance of that is this ain't even Christ really telling you what to do. Christ is abiding by orders, and he's really telling you what the Most High wants you to do. So it's not really, don't think of it like, oh, Christ is giving you an order. He is, but he's really just relaying the message. Ye are my friends if you do whatsoever I command you to do. Christ gonna tell you not to smoke. Christ gonna tell you to not eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. Christ is gonna tell you don't sleep with another man's wife. Christ is gonna tell you don't cheat on your husband. Christ is gonna tell you don't partake in heathen customs. Christ is gonna tell you those things. You wanna know why? Because he loves you. Imagine if Christ didn't do any of that. How can he say he loves you? Love is very conditional. There is no such thing as unconditional love. So going back to the Most High, how can we sit here and love him when we don't obey him? Because we've seen it twice, actually, in the beginning of Genesis. This is before Israelites even existed, before we even came about. What did Most High do? He wanted to get rid of everybody, but then he saw Noah. He found grace in Noah, okay. And then he also found grace in Moses, because we was all about to be Levites or Mosesites. That's what we was going to be, because he was going to restart again. Why though? Because the conditions of love were consistently broken. He got us out of slavery, and what do? That calf. Oh, I want to go back to Egypt. Oh, ungrateful. We didn't reciprocate the love that the Most High was giving us. So since the conditions weren't met, All right, no sweat. He can make a whole new lineage of people if he wants to. And the thing is, I can't blame the Most High because look at everything he's done for us. You know, Salakia. For the sake of time, I'm gonna continue the rest in English. We're gonna go all the way to Exodus 40 and 14. So let's go. So we'll start at Exodus chapter 39, verse 37. Give me a quick. This. Okay. So 39 and 37. The pure candlestick with the lamps thereof, even with the lamps to be set in order, and all the vessels thereof, and the oil for light, and the golden altar, and the anointing oil, and sweet incense, and the hanging of the tabernacle door. The brazen altar and his grate of brass, his staves and all his vessels, the laver and his foot, the hangings, the hangings of the court, his pillars and his sockets and his hangings from the court gate, his cords and his pins, and all the vessels of the service of the tabernacle for the tent of the congregation. Let's see, keep going. The cloths of service to do service in the holy place, and the holy garments for Aaron the priest, and his son's garments to minister in the priest's office. We went over that before. It's custom, brothers teaching class, especially like high holy days, Sabbath service. It's custom to have garments for the priests. For any brother who comes through, is teaching for that class, to just say like hypothetically, like I'm not able to make it, I need a brother to cover the class. Boom, there's already like garment there for him to do the service, right? Um, Verse 42, according to all that the Lord commanded Moses, so the children of Israel made all the work. And Moses did look upon all the work, and behold, they have done it as the Lord had commanded, even had they done it, and Moses blessed them. Again, just signifying like the obedience and like just really showing faith, like the level of faith that we should always maintain, right? Because before this, we didn't have that level of faith. All right, so we're gonna go to Exodus 40. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, on the first day of the first month shalt thou set up the tabernacle of the tent of the congregation, and thou shalt put therein the ark of the testimony, and cover the ark with the veil. So, ark of the testimony, pretty much like now, like the Most High made covenant with Moses, right, for Israel, right? And thou shalt put therein. Oh, sorry, I read that. Verse 4, and thou shalt bring in the table and set in order the things that are to be set in order upon it, and thou shalt bring in the candlesticks and light the lamps thereof. So again, it's just like instructions of how like set up the tabernacle. Again, like just a place of worship, right? Let's see. Verse 5, and thou shalt set the altar of gold for the incense before the ark of the testimony, and put the hanging of the door to the tabernacle, and thou shalt set the altar of the burnt offering before the door of the tabernacle of the scent of the congregation, and thou shalt set the laver. Laver is like a wash basin, like pretty much like for cleansing. I just lost it. A laver between the tent of the congregation and the altar, and shall put water therein. Verse 8, and thou shalt set up the court round about, and hang up the hanging of the court gate, and thou shalt take the anointing oil, and anoint the tabernacle, and all that is therein, and shalt hallow it, and all the vessels thereof, and it shall be holy. Again, representing like the holiness of the congregation. We're separate from everybody else, and we're giving praise to the Most High, right? Verse 10, and thou shalt anoint the altar of the burnt offering and all his vessels, and sanctify the altar, and it shall be an altar most holy. And thou shalt anoint the laver and his foot, and sanctify it. And thou shalt bring Aaron and his sons unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and wash them with water. Again, this is not, don't think baptism. This is not water baptism, all right? It's just for cleansing. That's all it's for, right? There's no such thing as water baptism. That was something that Christians made up just because you got dipped in some tap water that, you know what, when I really think about it, I gotta call this out real quick. When you really think about it, Water baptism is really nasty. Think about it. I got baptized once. I was younger. I ain't know no better. Christian church. There was a line of people. They dip you in the water. I don't know why I'm thinking of this now. They dip you in the water, and now it's like you're cleansed, right? Now you're holy, right? They give you a certificate and everything. When you really think about it, that ain't nothing but a public pool. Like they just think about it. You know not everybody washing themselves properly. So they dunking them up in there. You might have washed yourself. That don't mean everybody else washed themselves. So you're just getting dunked in dirty water. And now it's like you're cleansed. No. If that's the case, everybody should hop in the pool and then everybody is sanctified now. All right. I said it before, I'll say it again. If you're a whore in the world and you get dunked in water, you're not blessed. You're just a wet whore now. That's all it is. Okay. You just a wet. Now you're soggy. That's all it is. It ain't changed nothing. Because if that's the case, a lot of us should be better. I mean, think about. I mean, you should, I guess, technically water baptize every day because you wash your behind, right? Yeah, it's pretty much toilet water. Good night. No, like for real. You feel me though? It's like what makes that water holy? What like when you really think about it? I'm saying this. I know I'm like joking, but like I'm really serious. There are still grown men and women who are doing this, and they think that they're saved. You got dunked in bath water that everybody like it's community water, and now you're saved. Now all your sins are washed away. If that's the case, they should be washed away every single damn day. Because I'm hoping you wash your behind every day. At least that got soap. Like, yeah, now you soggy. You feel me? Like, but that's Slovakia. It just it's really crazy when you think about it. And this is why you should love the truth because we really break it down for you. And we really want you to like just notice the little things. Just notice the little things like we brought up the bonnet. Ain't no white woman wearing no bonnet. Okay. She don't need it. Our sisters wear bonnets. Brothers too. I'll be honest with you. Like if you had like you got your braids long enough or whatever, or like if you got your fro out and you don't want your hair messed up, I advise you probably get like some satin pillow sheets. Works wonders. But my point is that's our custom. We do that type of stuff, right? Genetically, our body is meant for stuff like that. And then stuff like this. The water is just meant for cleansing, y'all. That's all it is. Yeah, they anointed and stuff, but it doesn't mean like you're saved now. It's really just a place of worship, and it's like everything up in there. We're gonna keep everything holy. That's all it is. Even the washman, keep it holy. That's all. Don't besmirch it. Like you don't want nothing dirty up in there, right? Like you don't want somebody just walking up in their feet. They've been walking through the walking through Nazareth, and it's like they just dunk their feet up in there, and you just leave the water there. It's kind of like, well, that's sloppy. That's dirty. Like that's all it is. You want your place of worship to be clean. That don't mean yeah, y'all get the point. So I'm gonna wrap it up for you. All right. Yeah, thou shalt bring Aaron and his sons unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation and wash them with water. Again, just washing. That's all it is. Verse 13, and thou shalt put upon Aaron the holy garments and anoint him and sanctify him, that he may minister unto me in the priest office. Last verse, and thou shalt bring his sons and clothe them with coats. It's definitely illogical after learning the truth. It really is. When you really think about it, like that's why like we gonna keep saying the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of, because he's really gonna make you seem he makes illogical things seem logical. When like it's crazy like how he can warp other people's mind. Like the biggest gaslighter on planet Earth, like Esau really is blessed with the sword, because that's the only people that I have ever seen on this planet who has the ability to like victimize themselves when they're the ones that are doing things wrong. I mean, think about it. They're trying to kick Issachar and all the other southern tribes up out of the country. Meanwhile, you look at a map, again, northern tribe got here first. It's their land. And then like when you span out to like the Midwest, like Texas and all that, that was Mexico. And the only reason that those treaties were broken is because the white man broke them treaties. So if you really want to look at it from a legal sense, a so-called Mexican being in California or New Mexico or Arizona or Nevada or Texas, that's not illegal. Think like the white man, right? That's not illegal because they're actually from here. You get my point? How is an illegal immigrant, aka Edomites, gonna come over here? They ain't have no papers. Where they documentation at? They from Europe, in Armenia and like the Caucasus Mountains. That's where they're from. But they came over here illegally, right? I want to see your papers. They have no papers. They came into this land, robbed, raped, and pillaged, sent them out, and then it's like, you guys don't belong here. You guys gotta pay to work here. You're taking our resources, your resources. These are their resources. You learn half the stuff from them. You get my point? And then like they'll find a way. Again, biggest gaslighter ever. Esau will go into your home, destroy it, and then want to have a debate. Think about it. Yes, or even that, they call them settlers. No, they ain't settlers, they colonizers, conquistadors. That's what they are. But that's what they do. They'll destroy your land, your people, your women, your children, your culture, everything. But then when you retaliate, they call you a terrorist. But you can have a friendly debate with them, though. It's not going to change anything. Well, white man love debates because even if he loses, it doesn't change anything. He's still on top. That's what the white man does. Think about it. You go all the way back to when Jacob got the blessing. Mind you, it was already prophesied that Jacob was going to get the blessing. They ain't know that yet, though, right? Isaac, who was their father, of course, it's tradition to give the blessing or an inheritance to the oldest son. Esau was technically older because he was the firstborn son. But again, the Lord knows who we are deep down inside. He knew that Esau was not fit to have the blessing because what did he do? He gave up the blessing for some food. That's what he did. Mind you, Esau's a cunning hunter. He could have easily got some more food, but man wasn't dying. He was hungry. He caught a cramp. That's all that happened. He was famished. But he was that desperate for food. And Jacob didn't swindle him. Some fake Israelites try to say like he swindled him. No. He went straight up to Esau and told him, hey, look, I can give you this food, but you got to give me your blessing. Esau agreed, mind you, right? He was not tricked. He willingly gave that up. Then when Jacob got the blessing, as Esau already like handed it over, he got the blessing by going to Isaac. Isaac was, on his last leg, if you will. And he felt Jacob. Remember, Jacob was a smooth man, but Rebecca, their mother, she was smart. She like had him in a certain way that it kind of like felt like Esau. So in his mind, Isaac's thinking that this is Esau, so he gave him the blessing. Mind you, this is already prophesied. Esau comes back, gets mad, begs for a blessing, gets blessed with the sword, but then blames Jacob. You're mad that Jacob got the blessing, but you gave it to him. And then what happened? Paraphrasing, I believe it's Genesis 25 or 26, and you read about how this is why there's beef between Israelites and Edomites, because Esau's like, I'm gonna curse you, I'm gonna hunt you down. He didn't just mean Jacob, he meant Jacob and all his descendants. And that spirit dwells in Esau and it trickled down to all his descendants. That's why there's always beef. But it all started because why? You gave up the blessing. You weren't tricked. We didn't steal it from you. You gave it up. That's like me being mad, like I'm hungry, and then somebody's like, hey, I'll give you this piece of chicken for $200. Sounds freaking crazy, right? But I'm so out of my mind. Yeah, here's $200. And then I'm mad because then you like flipped that $200 and you made a fortune off of it. It's like, well, I gave you the $200. I can't be mad at you logically, right? But that's Esau. That's who we're dealing with. And I'm saying that because you really got to understand who we're dealing with. You cannot argue about morals with an immoral people. You can't. They don't care. Let's see. Even back then, he was reneging on a contract. Yes. Yes. But you see who we're dealing with? That's why they love debates. They don't want us rising up and fighting back. And I ain't saying go out there and start shooting people. I ain't saying that. Serve the Lord. But what I'm saying is they don't want you to retaliate in a more, I say, justifiable sense because if you just debate with them, debates don't do nothing. When we vote between red and blue, that's the white man system. Talking about the left wing and the right wing, don't matter. It's the same damn bird. Don't matter which one it is. One's blue, one's red. Okay, it's still white people running the country. His birthright. Yeah. Yeah, he sold his birthright. But you see it, right? So with that being said, just take that for what you will. Like, remember who we're dealing with as a people. If you can't take anything else from this class, remember this. You cannot argue morals with an immoral person. They don't think like you. He's not spiritual like you. Esau has the spirit of destruction. It's all he cares about, destroying in any which shape or form that he can figure out a way to do it. All right. But now with this, from what we read, again, just showing the faith that we have, the obedience that we had at one point. Every time we served the Most High, things went right. When we don't, things went left. We are hard left right now. Okay, we got to get back. Especially nowadays, we live in a very immoral world now. Now, if you got morals, you're like a unicorn now. People look at you funny. People will try to test your boundaries just because they don't like the fact that since you might not want to have your behind half hanging out, and that bothers some other one. They get mad when they see you with your man because they bitter, and I'm telling you, they'll try to mess with you just in hopes that y'all break up. She's bitter and she wants you to be bitter with her. Some men do that too in the world too. All right. They're cool with hopping from this woman, that woman, that woman. You can have multiple wives, and I say this every time, wives, not whores. They're okay with doing that stuff. But then they find out that you got a rib or you got 2, 3 ribs, and it's like y'all all together. You're an active father. Your women actually respect you. Oh no, we can't have none of that. They're gonna try to disrupt your relationship. Just because you got morals, you don't smoke, they make you feel like you're weird. These bad times, y'all. All right, I'm telling you, keep that spirit. All right, keep that spirit and apply it. All right. Like I said earlier, you can't have love without respect. So show respect to the Most High by just abide by. That's all. It might get hard, but that's why we got brothers and sisters, people to talk to. Because it's the way I would say it is, demons don't fight fair, so neither should you. Demons gonna try to jump you, because the demons definitely gonna try to get you from insecurities and all that stuff when you're alone, or you're surrounded by a bunch of people in the world who hey, they don't serve the Lord. They can sense it on you. They know you different. They want you to fold and do something weird to just justify their actions even more. You make them uncomfortable. Remember, you should not match energy. You should set the tone. That's what you should do. All right? You're an ambassador, like I said earlier, for the Most High. For you, your nation, all that. Just keep that. You go anywhere, I do this myself, and I'm practicing it myself. When you go somewhere and it's like some weird spirits going on, remember, you don't match energy, you set the tone. Just remember that, all right? You stay holy all the time. But with that being said, the water for the participation, as usual. I'm always glad to see y'all here. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. We're going to get back to it again next Saturday. And with that, shalom.